Hello and welcome, this is Politique Revolutionary here to you today with Europa Universalis for the Cossacks. So this will be another tips, tricks, and exploits video for 1.5. So let's begin. Now personal unions cannot be broken if you have negative prestige. So that is a very good buff for the Poland-Lithuanian Commonwealth and personal union, such as Spain, Aragon, so on and so forth. It helps the AI tremendously. So that didn't really happen to the human player much, but it helps the AI. And also, wow, this is really quick. That was very quick. So in addition to this, gold mines can be depleted, no matter what development it is. So you can see that there's a 0.7 chance for depleting each year, unlike before, in which it would deplete every, after, after development 10. So that's been changed. In addition to that, there's been, there's a new exploit that I did not mention in the last video. Well, not really an exploit, but it certainly helps the player tremendously. So, I'm gonna fabricate on someone. Here. I'm gonna set this as hostile. Anyways, so with 1.15, there's gold mine depletion, and also when you're in battle, there's a very nice trick to use, which I will hopefully show you later. I have 74 trust, which is weird. Anyways, so now there's more subject interactions. Well, not more, but it's easier. So then there's enforced religion, even outside of your religious group. So say we had the Ottomans as a vassal because they're totally vassalizable. So let's say we had the Ottomans as a vassal. So we can enforce religion for plus 100 liberty desire, even though they're a different religious group. In addition, you can place a relative on the throne at any time. It doesn't matter what their disposition is. So that's new. Okay. There we go. So declare war. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Yeah. King's terrible general. But so we're gonna fight this war quickly. Hopefully we find an army. Teuton, raid us. Okay. Lithuania, help us. No? Going away. Battle. That's odd. Well, I need this Teutonic army to live. I at war, by the way. Pomerania? No. Livonians. Ah. Need to actually get there to showcase this. Okay. We need to actually get into an engagement with our ally. Let us set attached to the sea. But basically the point of what I'm doing right now is that if you're in a bad engagement, ally. So then since you lose morale if you detach a smaller army from the main army, that means that if this is a bad engagement, when you detach an army, you'll be able to, they'll morale, so then they'll be forced to retreat. and then you're gonna here and then it's battle. Am I correct? Yes. Okay. So we attack, and then let's say we retreat. That was a stack wipe. Let's say we retreated, so then they would lose morale as well, and they would be forced to retreat instead of taking more casualties. So that's a minor experience that you can do right now. That took a bit of a to explain. So there's like a personal union change, other change, and what's very minor change. France exists in the beginning of the game. Very minor change, but yeah, it's still a change. I believe it's Aquitaine and sure. Let's see. Continue playing. Check. So yeah. Something that the famous YouTuber Roomba was saying enough. Monastic non-monastic theocracies. So any theocracy other than the monastic order cannot make their leader general. So no more battle pope, as they said. As he said. So what's that? I already discussed about these states in the last episode. Now Austria will be less likely to declare war on these minor states and free cities because you get a negative free stability penalty on free city as the emperor. So that's a change. Significant change. What else? Echoes. Yeah. So army tradition from most countries has been nerfed because, yeah. Because it was too easy to stack bonuses. So let's say the knights or nexus, those have some army tradition. I can't remember, but it's nerfed to plus 0.5 army tradition as opposed to plus 1 tradition. So that has been changed. Bunch of other things to find. So hordes when they're fighting in, so it used to be when hordes are fighting in flat terrain that they would get flat terrain in their own territory, they would get a bonus. However, now it's extended to all flat terrain, they get a bonus. They get a penalty in non-flat terrain, which is a pretty good change. Makes it more realistic. Talked about the nerfs to this last time. There's no longer, the number of potential rivals is no longer limited. So, well, we can't exactly show now. We're not in a strong enough position, but you don't have a limited number of potential rivals now. That's a pretty good change. There's been a bunch of changes to the AI, including if you have plus 80 trust with person. So let's say we have 80 trust with you. Oh, with an ally. So then if you have 80 trust with an ally, then they will never desire lands. Ever. Which is excellent, excellent change. They won't desire your... Makes it much easier. There's more alerts, more interface changes. shortcuts have been changed. I'll show that right now. There's still trade. I will take it to listen. So you can set more than one map. So you can add like several map modes to one shortcut key. So let's say we want to add diplomatic, then we want an opinion map mode. So you combine more to a key. Let's say where you have two map modes. See? So these are both bound to the R key, so diplomatic and without opinion. It's weird in the order because the non-primary, but yeah, that's how it is. Nothing to worry about. Now, there's also disputed succession mentions age. So this is 13-year-old, 18-year-old, and it's mentioned in the what do you call it? In the disputed succession tab, which makes it easier, more user-friendly. There's also a dynasty map mode. I believe I mentioned that in the last episode, so I need to re-mention it. What else? What else? Tons and tons of bug fixes. Amazing bug fixes. So there's an alliance break alert. So let's see. Let me piece you. So let's say we're stupid, right? Peace. And then we ally Bohemia. Bohemia, we're now allies. Yay. Now, if we set all their provinces as vital interest, this should make our alliance strange. Let's say. No. Sank. What provinces do you consider vital interest? Consider this as vital interest. We're gonna consider it as vital interest. What else? You consider that. Consider this. Consider those. Consider these. Consider these. Consider those. We consider these. Now they should be rather upset with us for wanting their provinces. I think that takes at the end of so this should all lower trust. Insulted. Yes, alliance break-in. So then they don't consider our alliance that valuable anymore. So they'll to break the alliance. And so then we get this warning, and then once they break the alliance, we shouldn't be that scared. So yes, there's that. There's been changes to discovery, to how discovery works. So then, discover an entire region instead of province by province. It's a disputed change. Not really that bad. Not bad at all. So there's that, and then there's one more thing that I want to mention. Yeah, there's no states on conquest. Lines with us. Let's say you have a claim on that. Claim on you. You have a claim on you. Whatever, we'll declare no CB. So you get a pop-up for CB war. Now let's use cheats because we're very good, right? So stability to plus, so we're cheating. So there's how do you call it? There's admin on Peace Deal. I don't. That's been mentioned before, but there is, and in addition, to that, there has been a change that I can't quite remember again. Oh yeah, no states on conquest. So let's say we take this territory, none of these will be controlled by the states, so then we'll have to assign them to states by ourselves. Which is interesting. Change. Anyways, thanks for watching. I believe this is all the really major stuff that happened in the last patch. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Like and subscribe to this video.